How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to Breakout Trading. Today is Monday, July 6th, and I'm going to be going over my trades for today. So today was a pretty meh day, kind of a scratch day. I'm only up net not even up. Well, I'm down net 292. So before the lunch break, I was down like 12 bucks, and I managed to make most of that back during power hour. So kind of just a nothing day today. Lucky to get out alive. This is including commissions, and then this here is, let's move myself out of the way, and then this here is just the DAS trader 156, but plus commissions I'm down about 3 bucks. So just a scratch day today, but either way, we had some good trades and we had some bad trades, and we're going to be going over those. So first one on the list, I think I might move myself up here actually so you guys can see all the trades here. So first one at 9:51 a.m. was LMFA. So this was the pre-market here on LMFA. You can see it was popping up quite a bit. LMFA had 2.35 million share float, so pretty low float stock. That means it can run really easily if it gets volume and direction. It's a finance stock, and I can't remember the catalyst for this pump, but yeah, so it doesn't really matter in the end. So anyways, this was pre-market. I have some levels marked out, 314, yada yada yada. So market opens up, it immediately kind of starts moving upwards, and then first trade I did was a break of this high here. I'm going to just get rid of all these trend lines for a second. Make it a lot easier to see. So I had this high marked out there, and then I actually hit the what did I hit? I hit the bid here to try and buy this breakout above $2.24, and I actually got a really bad fill all the way up here at almost 230. So actually it was at 230. And I realized immediately that I got a terrible fill on my 100 shares, and that this thing was probably going to pull back a bit. So I was going to ride that out, look for a retest, and then look for a further push up. I didn't really have a set profit target on this. I was just kind of looking for it to move up more. So it did a little bit. I ended up selling there for only about a 3-cent gain, and I think I made like $1 or something, or $2. Not too much, and then I was like, okay, well, this thing looks pretty strong. I'm going to look to get re-enter here. Just going to make these a bit bigger. I said I was going to look to re-enter, so then I ended up get the crosshair out of here. So then that's the first trade. I ended up re-entering there on that line, and then this time we flushed down, bounced a bit off VWAP, and then I sold there for a bit of a loss. Just to get out. So I bought in at 225 and sold at 221, and then I gave back my small gain from here and was down about $1 on the stock. And the reason I did this is because this flush was way more than I anticipated, and I was hoping that this 223 level would hold and that we'd get a move past the high here, but that didn't happen, so I just got out. Obviously I could have held a bit longer, but I took the chance when I thought I saw it. So yeah, those are the only two trades on LMFA. So then I went elsewhere because this thing kind of looked like it was starting to crap out, just breaking below VWAP like nothing, getting a retest here. Yeah, not really doing the best. So I went over to AYRO, and this one was really sad today because AYRO ripped today until it had a secondary offering right down here, which tanked it. But before that, it ripped. So this was pre-market. I identified in my notebook that this was the strongest one. I said, man, we got some gappers today, but nothing insane. AYRO is the strongest one, so obviously it was strong right out of the gates. I'll identify the pre-market levels I was watching, so that level there, and then as soon as we opened, we had a little pop up here to 542, and then a sell-off, and then we regained that level. I didn't chase it all. We made a high up here at just under $6. I'll bring the crosshairs back, just under $6, and pulled way back, and I decided to go for a VWAP bounce buy right here. Right after we broke through the initial high of day, I was looking for VWAP and this previous resistance there at pre-market to bounce off of. So we went ahead and bought 50 shares there at 5.30, and it had a bit of a bounce up to like 5.34, but then it flushed further. And I, on this one, just decided to get out on the retest of VWAP because I was thinking it broke VWAP. This thing's probably going to continue downwards. So look at this structure here. This is why I think that this was a good stop out, and it's okay that I stopped out here because overall I think that that was the right move to do. So we buy in for the VWAP bounce. It doesn't happen. Break below VWAP, and now we're retesting VWAP, and I got out here for about a 7-cent loss there. So I sold at 5.23, and I think I was down, maybe that was, yeah, so I was down 3.50 there on that trade. And I think that this is a good because look at LMFA. I had a very similar setup here where we break below VWAP, retest it, and then just continue selling off all day. So that's kind of the move that I was expecting to happen. And then surprisingly, AYRO doesn't fail here on the retest of VWAP, which is now resistance. It gets back above, and I think part of the issue or part of the thing that led to this pumping so much is that it kind of faked out the shorts here. So probably a lot of people entered in short around this area for the bounce back and then the further continuation down, except we just went upwards more and then ended up just blasting off. So yeah, I'll just like zoom out here so you guys can see that AYRO made it all the way up to $8, and I entered in at 5.30. So obviously that would have been an absolutely epic trade. Probably wouldn't have held through that whole move, but anyway, what can you do? So yeah, that was a good stop out. This part I don't regret not entering. I was still watching it at this point, and then it just kind of ripped up. So you can see it retested the initial high of day here, and then it just rips on some really good volume right up to the high of day. And then looking back on it, this was pretty much my only chance of a decent re-entry was the retest here of the high of day at 5.94. And then I was thinking about it, but I didn't pull the trigger. This stock traded very weird today. Obviously in hindsight it's easy to see, but during it's very difficult to see if it's good or not. So we kind of retested the high there, held, and then this thing just blasted off to the stratosphere. And once again, I didn't want to chase this at all, so I didn't buy any of these pullbacks, but looking back on it, look how nicely it holds that support there on the 1 minute 9 EMA. And 3 minute I think it was pretty overextended from, but on the 1 minute, beautiful, beautiful dips there that could have been bought up. And yeah, really, really high momentum there. Look at the volume too, just huge, huge green volume. So yeah, that was a really, really nice looking one. And then it kind of consolidates a bit, and then boom, right here there was a direct offering announced, 15 million direct offering, and I think the share price for that was like 5.43, and that was at 12.28. You can see right here is 12.27, and this thing just tanks. So I was actually upstairs just eating some breakfast at this point, but glad I wasn't in it at that point. It dropped all the way from about 7.70 all the way down to about $5. So what is that, like 30% drop or something crazy? Yeah, so that would have sucked to be in. And then it kind of just doesn't do a whole lot. So let me get rid of these. And then it ended up not really doing a whole lot the rest of the day. So yeah, that was the bulk of the move right there. It was that break of the high at $6 and just riding that momentum. So that's a case where I should have been a little bit more aggressive once it broke the high of day, because then it's identifying that it's clearly strong. Also, it had that little fake out there under VWAP to trap some shorts and make them really hurt. Yeah, so that was AYRO. Lost $3. And then another one I was looking at was LMND. This is a recent IPO, only 2 days of history on the chart here. And the setup that I was looking at was this really nice bull pennant that was forming. Let me just get rid of some of these trend lines. So this one, yeah, is just making a really nice structure in the morning. So if you draw from the high here, down there, just like that, right? So from this view, it really looks like it's forming into a nice bull pennant, and I decided to take a very small position on it, only 2 shares because it's $92 stock. And then you can see that's where I enter right there on the breakout. Entered in on LMND at 92.60. And was just looking for this thing to get to at least 96, break the high of day, and my plan was to sell before $100. Except this one did something really weird. It didn't fake out or any. Well, it did kind of fake out right there, but then it literally just traded sideways for like so long. So you can see I ended up stopping out there for a just under $5 loss. At that point, I think I was down like $10 on the day. Really weird action though, like how it just kind of has the bull flag and then it fakes it out and then it just kind of sits. And I was looking at this thing and I was almost sure that $90 was going to break. So I didn't really want to be in for the big flush down because I sensed that was coming. Turns out I was right. So this thing kind of just, you know, has this really long sort of consolidation, has a chance right here to break past these highs at 93 for a bit more of like a ascending triangle formation. Fakes out there again and then just dumps, like really weird sideways action. Like you can see how it just has no direction all day, no volume. Goes for it once more there. Yeah, I was really glad I kind of did a time stop on this. So the 3 stop losses I have is a pattern stop, so wherever the support will be on the chart. Money stop, obviously, how much you're willing to risk, and also a time stop. If it's not doing what you want right away, basically, just get out. You can always re-enter. So obviously, I saved myself a lot of time because I sold this at 11:06 and it was at the exact same price almost 2.5 hours later. So I could have wasted 2.5 hours staring at this thing or gone and looked at some other opportunities. And then it eventually just kind of dies off. Really weird. Recovered a bit there and then just dies off into the close. So weird action there. Also a good stop out. Didn't waste any time. Just took the small L and moved on with my day. So that was LMND, and then looks like I went for my sort of lunch break. Came back and took another stab here at LMFA, and the reason that I took this trade was because was really easy to see on the 5-minute chart. Go backwards like this. So you can see that we were making this really sort of rounded bottom here. So I saw this low of day, and I drew a trend line there, and then you can see we were kind of making this rounded bottom. It actually turned out to be a Fibonacci level as well. So if you draw a retracement from up here down, you can see it was right in between the 78.6 and the 61. Oh no, just the 78.6 was the support, and then that horizontal low of the day, previous low of the day, was the resistance. And it sort of just started curling up here, and I knew that we'd probably get some sort of pop upwards to VWAP, and then it literally happened within like a minute. I'll go and zoom in on the 1 minute. So I'm looking at it, and this is one thing that I'm really proud of, is I didn't hesitate at all for this one. I saw the setup and I just jumped on it like right away. It basically popped up on this 1 minute candle, so I hopped in right away with 100 shares at 185, and I don't know if you can see here, but you can see I entered in at 1443.38 and I sold at 1444.44. So this trade only lasted about 1 minute, and I got about 10 cents, 10-cent gain there. And then that brought me out of the hole on LMFA and gave me the biggest profit of the day, which was $7. Pretty nice. And I just sold it right away because what I think this was, looking back on it, is I think this is just one of a short seller's stop loss is getting hit. So I don't think that this was actually that organic of buying, because it was just a big quick pop. I think a bunch of short sellers had their stop losses there. Boom, they all got hit. And then, oh, for Pete's sake, this chart's annoying. Yeah, boom, they all got hit, and then it kind of tried a bit more, had this huge dump, and then I stopped looking at it after that. Because right here, I was still like, okay, it could still move over $2 and over VWAP, and then I'd look at it for continuation upwards. But after it had this kind of big dump, I just let it go. And then it tried once more, hit resistance at VWAP, and then kind of sold off into the close. So yeah, made the best trade of the day was just that little pop there from the low, and you can even see now that we're a bit more zoomed out how it kind of has just the slightest bit of an ascending triangle bottom look to it. And that's kind of what I saw just quickly after I sat down and hopped right in. No hesitation, really awesome. And then the last trade of the day was on CBAT. This one was not the best trade. This one was pretty sketch, honestly. Only made $3 on this one. But this was a late day runner, and basically the setup for this was just the previous high support. This thing had kind of low volume, sketchy price action. So basically I was just looking at this, it broke through, bought the pullback here, all of a sudden it flushes down below. I hold it, button at 152, I hold it a bit, and then it's kind of funny on this one. You can see that I actually sold at the very top of this candle here. So I got in at 152 and sold at 158, only 50 shares, so $3 profit. Because this one just really didn't look like I wanted to rip. I wanted it to sell on a rip past the high of day here, but it was super sketchy watching the tape on this one. It was super like bobby and choppy. So I ended up just selling here when I saw some weakness on the level 2 in the tape. Bunch of asks or a bunch of sellers popped up. So yeah, I got out, and you can see that the high of this candle there was 159, and I sold at 158. So pretty awesome top tick, I'd say. And then the thing kind of just craps out. So yeah, that was pretty much it for today. What did I learn today? I have some notes. All the EV stocks just ripped today, so that includes, wow, look at Tesla after hours. That is insane. So Tesla ripped today. NKLA had a pullback day today. WKHS pullback day, and then AYRO, the one we traded earlier, really good day up until that direct offering. Solo, didn't go over that one quite yet, but this one was really nice. I kind of missed the boat on this one. Had a nice sort of triangle pattern in the morning, broke out, and just had sort of momentum all day. So that one I kind of just missed out on. I didn't really find a great entry. I was looking at here for the retest. It didn't get that low, so I kind of just left it alone. This also kind of a crappy retest. It just ate right through it and then continued upwards anyway. So yeah, it wasn't really a clean setup on Solo that I really saw. So that's probably why I didn't get in it at all. And then BLNK actually was an afternoon ripper. This thing broke the high here and just exploded. You can see it retesting it after hours there. I'll actually keep BLNK on watch for tomorrow. That one's probably going to have some good movement tomorrow. So yeah, those are all the EV stocks. Blue had like this huge sell-off on the daily. You can see just a massive drop. So 11.50 last week opened up at like $3. You can see the huge drop here. I figured they might have a bounce. It didn't bounce at all in the morning, so I kind of took it off my watch list, but it had this nice parabolic move. Yeah, one thing I wrote down for this is whenever you see a parabolic move, you have 4 chances for a trade on it. The first chance is washout longs on the strength, the front side strength, so that means just longing the dips and selling the rips. And then once it goes completely parabolic, basically straight up, what you can do is look for whole number resistance. So for instance, this one hit resistance at 450. $half and whole dollars are significant. And look for your first short opportunity. And then the next trade, so that's first one is washout longs on the front side. Second potential trade opportunity on parabolic moves is the first short. The third opportunity is the first bounce. So usually the first bounce is the best, and you can see if you do a Fibonacci retracement to the low of day, this bounced pretty much right off the 50%. So that could have been your first bounce, and then you have your second short opportunity after the bounce, which you can use the high of day, the previous high, to manage your risk off of. So obviously this one didn't get too high, but say this got up to 436, that's a really nice opportunity there for a short. So 4 chances on these parabolic stocks to make a play. So I wrote that down because this was a great example of that. Yeah, just wrote about my bad fill on LMFA, stopped out manually. AYRO, stopped out manually because the VWAP didn't come in and it broke below. I waited for the retest of VWAP to get out right down here, and I think that was still a good move. My only mistake was not re-entering AYRO when it broke the high of day. LMND just was a great setup. It just literally didn't do anything. So once again, fine to stop out there. You don't want to be holding on to something that isn't doing what you want. I wrote about solo here at 9:27 a.m. Let's zoom in. Let's see what happened at 9:27. Oh, my time. Okay, that's probably 11:27. Missed out on this. Solo was setting up for an SR flip play, but it has bad volume. So I was probably talking about this high right around here. I think I saw it break through the high of day, and it was coming down right here to test this high, except the volume was really weak on the pump, and I didn't end up taking this trade even though it would have worked out. I said I missed out on this entry. It never pulled back another time, so obviously this first pump it started to pull back a bit here, and I had my order ready again for 465, but it never happened. And then I was also wrote in there that the break of the high of day was extremely weak. So you can see after it breaks this high of day, retests, and then it goes to break this new high, and it totally gets rejected, super harsh. You could see a huge block of sellers on the time and sale go through on this 1 minute candle here. And then it had this huge dump. So I said, good job identifying the weakness on this new high of day breakout and staying away. And then you can see this one kind of consolidated a bit, but then eventually it ends up ripping again. There it goes. So that would have been another, let's see if it had another retest. It did not. So right, so I was probably watching this again for another retest, but it just kind of went without me, like I said earlier in this video. Yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Took a lot of notes today, but probably just for personal notes. Yeah, be back at it again tomorrow. Learned a lot today. One thing I learned too that I wrote down is, so this is an idea, you usually go for the bounces. So this is my style, is I usually go for the bounce trades. A good idea is when you see something like AYRO, look for the whole number support. What am I referring to in this? Sorry, I'm referring to this one down here, I think. What am I referring to? Oh, okay, I remember. Sorry, this video is going to be long. So I was referring to this. So after I missed out on the first big move, I said, so you want to be in this trade, right? I don't short sell. Obviously, this symbol was shortable for me on DAS or on Interactive Brokers, but I didn't end up shorting it at all because, hypothetically speaking, no one's going to know that there's going to be a direct offering. So without that direct offering, the stock was really strong today. So what you can look for is, first off, a Fibonacci retracement from the highs. So you look at any sort of fib levels there. So you can see right away, like we're pretending that this pullback hasn't happened yet is what we're doing. So we're saying that we just saw some weakness there at this candle. We're looking to play that bounce, right? The first major pullback. We want to find a level where it's going to bounce off. So we do a Fibonacci retracement, what we think is the high based on what we're reading in the level 2 tape. So we have identified 23.6 level. So we'll mark that in. This is hypothetically speaking. And also you can see that that lines up with the whole dollar, $7. So that would be a good spot to buy the bounce, and you can see that that obviously worked. We got about a 50-cent move off of that $7 until the offering happened, and you can see it held that 23.6 level quite well, also the $7 level, and then the offering happened, and obviously technicals go out the window when an offering shows up. So that was what I wrote down too. Oh, and previous high support too, so if any of those line up, it's usually a good bounce trade. And the only chance to re-enter here was on the break of this high. So yeah, that was a bit of a long video, lots of blabber, but I just like making these with all uncut, all my raw thoughts of the day. So overall, once again, small scratch trade day. I was down $10 before the afternoon session, and I ended up making back most of that on my LMFA trade. This little breakout, most of it back right there on just this one pop. See, that's all it takes is all day you just have to minimize your losses until you get that one nice trade, and it'll just make up for everything. And the AYRO trade. Oh no, not AYRO. The CBAT trade, the sketchy one, only $3 there. So yeah, that's about it, guys. Thanks for watching. Videos every day still. I'm trading every day, so learning as I go. Making these videos so that one day when I'm banking, hopefully people can look back and say, wow, he really did start from, you know, nothing. He's playing with 150 shares. So yeah, anyways, thanks for watching. Peace.